SAfm, South Africa's news and information leader.
Thank you, Nancy. Government reacts with shock to news of teenagers' gang rape, and the DA calls Diepsloot water crisis a disaster. Good afternoon. Government and civil society organizations have reacted with shock and dismay to news that a Soweto teenager has been allegedly gang raped by a group of schoolboys. The 17-year-old girl has been missing since late last month, and video footage of the incident has been circulating around Johannesburg. 7 suspects have been arrested and will appear in court tomorrow. Police say the girl was apparently left in the care of an elderly minibus taxi driver in Soweto following the assault. Minister of Women, Children and People with Disabilities, Lulu Xingwana.
This is an abhorrent crime against a child who cannot protect herself. My department will work with the Ministry of Police to ensure that that video is confiscated, but also those that are responsible for this are brought to book.
The Democratic Alliance in Gauteng says the water crisis in Diepsloot is a disaster and should be handled as such. DA says the health situation may worsen if it is not addressed immediately. The DA's Jack Bloom says extra resources such as the army should be brought in to assist. He says residents are risking their lives crossing the highway to fetch water from unaffected suburbs.
I think they need to declare it a disaster so that they can get extra resources from neighbouring municipalities and also bring in the army. They're very short of water tankers. I saw people crossing a busy highway to get water on the other side. This is very, very dangerous, and I think there's a huge health risk as well. So I really think that they need to declare a disaster, get the army in, and also get resources from neighbouring municipalities.
The state in the Eugene Terreblanche murder trial has dismissed as lies a sodomy allegation made by one of the accused against the right-wing leader. Chris Mahlangu alleged that Terreblanche had sodomized and assaulted him on the day of the murder. But the state says that Mahlangu failed to give sufficient details as to how and when the alleged assault happened. Mahlangu and a teenager, both farm workers, are on trial in the Circuit High Court in Ventersdorp Northwest. The right-wing leader was found bludgeoned to death on his farm in April 2010. Senior court reporter Candice Klein has the details.
During his bail hearing, Mahlangu, in a statement, claimed he acted in self-defense but made no mention of sexual assault. This allegation featured strongly during the trial. Prosecutor George Baloy called it made-up stories and asked the court to reject it. Baloy says that Mahlangu made repeated references to the teenager when speaking to the police about the crime, and that despite his subsequent denials, the teenager had placed himself on the scene of the crime during his plea explanation at the start of the trial. Candice Klein, SABC News, Ventersdorp.
The state prosecutor in the murder case of student constable Sipho Mbata says the officer should not be granted bail because his release will cause uproar in the society. Mbata is applying for bail in the Roodepoort Magistrates Court. Mbata faces the murder charge after he allegedly shot and killed Soweto teenager Tato Mokoka in Bramfisherville earlier this year. Edwin Tsidi is in court.
In his closing argument, State Prosecutor Samuel Comfort says Mbata should not be released on bail. Comfort says Mbata's release will lead to riots, as this has previously happened. Comfort was brief as he closed his case. In reply, Mbata's lawyer, Kenneth Munyakhe, says Mbata should be granted bail as he's not a danger to the public and himself. He says Mbata is not a flight risk, and if he wanted to commit suicide, he should have done so before he was arrested. Mbata faces a murder charge after allegedly firing 3 shots at Tato Mokoka during a Bramfisher raid in February. Edwin Ntsidi, SABC News, at the Roodepoort Magistrates Court.
Zululand District Mayor and National Freedom Party leader Zanele Kamagwaza Msibi has issued a stern warning to municipal workers who involve themselves in fraud and corruption. This follows the arrest of a 35-year-old man suspected of defrauding the Ulundi municipality in northern KwaZulu-Natal. Kamagwaza Msibi has commended the police and the Hawks for their work.
We are very much happy about the results because people have been arrested. And I want to make a clear call to all people around KwaZulu-Natal in the municipality. Those who may want to come and fraudulently take the money from the municipality, we will never tolerate that because people of South Africa voted for us on the basis of speedy service delivery and to ensure that we are fighting against fraud and corruption. That is what we are going to do.
And in the world of sports, Moroka Swallows coach Gordon Igesund is confident they won't lose to Orlando Pirates twice in a row. The two teams will meet in a top-of-the-table clash in Dobsonville this evening. Swallows lost 2-1 to Pirates in the Telkom knockout earlier in the season with a late Benny McCarthy strike. The first-round league match between the two sides ended in a draw. Igesund says Pirates will be meeting a very determined side this time around. He has admitted that the outcome of the encounter will determine where the two teams finish at the end of the season.
The positive thing for us is we're unbeaten in the second round from December to now. So we want to just continue from that. I think the last game we played against Pirates, I think they know it. And I think everybody else knows it, that they were very, very lucky that game. You know, they scored their goal in the 94th minute or 95th minute. We were leading 1-0. And also in the cup game, we were leading 1-0 against him. And Benny McCarthy scored a wonder goal. But this is a completely new game now. Things have changed a lot since then.
Recapping the top story, government and civil society organizations have reacted with shock and dismay to news that a Soweto teenager has been allegedly